ध्यान का समय पूरा हुआ। एक बार फिर से स्वागत आप सभी का। और हम विनय पिटक में नया पोर्शन पढ़ेंगे विच इज अबाउट द चैप्टर ऑन स्किज्म इन द संघा, संघ भेदक खंड। So Bhante ji, would you like to give some भूमिका?
तो हम अपनी जर्नी अब कंटिन्यू करते हैं। और अब संघ जो है वो काफ़ी रिलेटिवली वेल डेवलप्ड हो चुका है। सो मच सो दैट जो बहुत सिग्निफिकेंट फॉल्ट्स हैं वो अब अपीयर होने लग रहे हैं। तो जैसे कि हमने देखा शुरू से जो रूल्स फॉर्मुलेट हो रहे हैं दे आर इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ जिस प्रकार की चैलेंजेस दिक्कतें आ रही हैं, तो उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में रूल्स कॉन्टेक्चुअली बनाए जा रहे हैं। सो नाउ वी आर फेयरली एडवांस्ड संघ के लाइफ में। और अब जो हम चैप्टर देखेंगे जैसे निखिल ने बताया दैट परटेन्स टू जिसको हम स्किज्म कहते हैं। अब हम विल ऑफ कोर्स स्टडी दिस इन द चैप्टर, बट जिस तरह से विनय में इसको बनाया गया है, स्किज्म का एक बहुत टेक्निकल मतलब है। सामान्य मतलब तो ये है कि भाई कोई डिसएग्रीमेंट हो जाना, फूट पड़ जाना। बट इन द केस ऑफ विनय हम देखेंगे कि इट हैज़ अ वेरी स्पेसिफिक अकरेंस इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड स्किज्म। लेकिन उससे पहले काफ़ी लंबा चैप्टर है और हम इसको लगभग पूरा ही पढ़ेंगे। इससे पहले बहुत एजुकेटिव, खास करके फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ लाइक अ बायोग्राफिकल स्केच ऑफ द संघ, बहुत ही एजुकेटिव चैप्टर है ये। तो ये शुरू होता है उन इवेंट से जब ये दिखाया जाता है कि कैसे कई सारे जो उस क्लैन, जो साकियन क्लैन के भगवान बुद्ध के पास के या दूर के रिश्तेदार थे, हाउ दे जॉइन द संघ। और धीरे धीरे फिर जो एक स्पेसिफिक कजिन थे देवदत्त, उनका कैसे एम्बिशन बढ़ा टू लीड द संघ बाय द टाइम द बुद्ध गेट्स ओल्ड। सो द बुद्ध इज अब वो भगवान बुद्ध अब काफी बुजुर्ग हो गए बाय द टाइम वी कम टू दिस पॉइंट। आई मीन आई डोंट नो अबाउट बुजुर्ग, बट बेसिकली ही इज वेल एडवांस्ड। और फिर जिस तरह से देवदत्त अजातशत्रु को इंस्टिगेट करते हैं वो सारा प्रसंग आएगा। और फिर फाइनली जो एक्चुअल स्किज्म होती है। तो एंड का जो चैप्टर है उसमें कुछ टेक्निकलिटीज हैं जो कि हम स्किप कर सकते हैं, बट इवन अंटिल देन इट्स क्वाइट अ लॉन्ग एजुकेटिव चैप्टर। तो हम इसको केवल अंग्रेजी में पढ़ेंगे। और अगर कहीं कुछ ऐसे एस्पेक्ट्स हैं जो कि ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग है, जिनमें कुछ धर्मा लेसन्स हैं, तो वी कैन ऑल्सो लुक एट द पाली। सो या ओके निखिल, यू कैन स्टार्ट। और निखिल, जैसे हम पहले करते आए हैं, वी कैन इनवाइट एनीबडी वुड लाइक टू रीड, so that also helps people be a little more I mean, it's a little more interesting.
जी, तो जो हम इंग्लिश में पढ़ना है, आप लोग में से कोई वॉलंटियर्स जो बनना चाहें तो वो बता दें। अभी हम फोरम में देख सकते हैं, हैंड रेज कर दें। सो मे बी अभी या थोड़ी बाद में sequentially, if you are free to read, you have the circumstances to read. ऑलराइट, प्रकाश जी ने हैंड रेज किया है। तो प्रकाश जी, थैंक यू। एंड मैं शेयर कर देता हूँ स्क्रीन। या उसके बाद भी अगर कोई और भी पढ़ना चाहे तो हम बता सकते हैं। जी प्रकाश जी, आप पढ़ सकते हैं।
The account of going forth of 6 Shakyans. At the time the Buddha was staying at Malayan town of Anupiya. At the time a number of well-known young Shakyans had followed the Buddha in going forth. Then there were the brothers Mahanama, and Anuradha. Anuradha had been brought up in great comfort. He had three stilt houses, one for the winter, one for the summer, and one for the rainy season. He spent the 4 months of the rainy season in the rainy season house, attended on only by female musicians, never descended from that house. Mahanama thought a number of well known young Shakyans have just followed the Buddha in going forth, but no one from our household. Why doesn't Anuradha or I go forth? He then went to
It is Anuruddha. It's Anuruddha.
Anuruddha. Yes, thank
Anuruddha.
you.
Yeah.
He then went Anuruddha and told him what he had thought. Anuruddha replied, I have been brought up in great comfort. I am not able to go forth. You go forth. Come then, let me teach you how to run the family business. First, you must plow the fields, then sow the seeds, irrigate, and drain, and then weed. Next, you must cut the harvest, gather it together, and make sheaves. You must then thresh it, remove the straw and husk, and then winnow it before you bring it into storage. And next year, you must do the same and the next. But when does the work stop? I can't see any end to it. When can you enjoy yourself with worldly pleasures, free from bother? The work does not stop, and you won't see any end to it. While the work was still unfinished, our fathers and grandfathers have all died. Well, then, you go ahead and run the family business. I will go forth into homelessness. Anuruddha then went to his mother and said, Mom, I wish to go forth into homelessness. Please allow me. Both of you, Anuruddha and my two sons, are dear and beloved to me. Even if you died, I would lose you against my wishes. So, how can I allow you to go forth into homelessness while you are still living? A second time, Anuruddha asked the same question and got the same reply. He then asked the third time. At that time, the Shakyan were ruled by King Bhadya, a friend of Anuruddha's. Anuruddha's mother considered this and thought, Bhadya won't be able to go forth into homelessness. And she said, Anuruddha, if King Bhadya goes forth, you may go forth too. Anuruddha then went to King Bhadya and said, my going forth depends on yours. Don't worry about whether your going forth depends on me or not. I am with you. Just go forth when you like. Come, let's go forth together. I'm not able to go forth. I'm not able to do what you do. There is nothing I can do about it. You go forth. My mother told me that I may go forth only if you go forth. And then you said, don't worry about whether your going forth depends on mine or not. I am with you. Just go forth when you like. So come, let us go forth together. At that time, people spoke the truth. And so Badiya said to Anuruddha, please wait 7 years. Then we will go forth together. That is too long. I am not able to wait for 7 years. Then wait 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. We will go forth together. That is too long. I am not able to wait for 1 year. Then wait 7 months. We will go forth together. That is too long. I'm not able to wait for 7 months. Then wait 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, half a month, we will go forth together. That is too long. I am not able to wait for half a month. Then wait 7 days while I hand over the rulership to my sons and brothers. 7 days is not long, I will wait. Soon after, King Badya, Anuruddha, Ananda, Bagu, Kimila, and Devadatta, with the barber Upali as the seventh, went out to park in the fourfold army, just as they had in the past. After going a good distance, they turned back the army. They then entered a foreign territory, removed their ornaments, bound them into the bundle with an upper rope, and said to Upali, "Now turn back, Upali. This is enough for you to live on." As Upali was returning, he thought, "The Shakyan are temperamental. They may think that I am responsible for the departure of these young men and have me executed. Now, if these young Shakyans are going forth into homelessness, why should not I?" Undoing the bundle, he hung the goods from a tree, saying, "This is given to whoever sees it. They may take it away." And he returned to the young Shakyan. Seeing Upali coming, they said to him, "Why are you coming back, Upali?" And he told what he had done. "You have done the right thing. Shakyan are indeed temperamental. They might well have held you responsible for our departure and have had you executed." The young Shakyan then took Upali with them and went to the Buddha, where they bowed, sat down, and said, "Sir, we Shakyan are proud. This barber Upali has been serving us for a long time. Please let him go forth first. We will then bow down to him, rise up for him, raise our joined palms to him, and do act of respect toward him. In this way, our Shakyan pride will be humbled." And the Buddha had Upali go forth first, and afterwards the young Shakyan.
Okay, maybe Prakash, you can just pause briefly. So, Darsa, may I, raise a point and maybe you can respond. अब देखिए यहाँ पे ये लोग जानबूझ के एक ऐसा कदम उठा रहे हैं जिसमें उसका क्वालिफिकेशन है एंड सो आवर प्राइड विल बी हम्बल्ड, है ना। नाउ हम ऐसे समझते हैं कि भाई इफ वी डेवलप द पाथ वेल इनफ तो शायद इस प्रकार की क्वालिटीज ऑफ ह्यूमिलिटी वगैरह आएंगी। बट हियर अगेन वी सी एन इंस्टेंस वेयर इट सीम्स दैट टू बिगिन विथ द बार इज एक्चुअली क्वाइट हाई। So does this simply qualify the point that we have often discussed? कि भाई already teachings, even for the teachings to be, even for the teachings to resonate, it assumes a certain level of cultivation, as we can see here in this case. So maybe you want to speak a little bit about this.
मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि this only shows that there were some fundamentals which are known to people even without actually without even met Buddha. And maybe because this event happened after, I think, about 20 years after Buddha had been enlightened. So then by the time, I'm sure this issue must have gone around that bhai, ye ahankar badi main problem hai, so we should do. And obviously these people must have been aware of all that. So because इतने टाइम में बुद्धा एक बार आ भी चुके हैं वहाँ पे और वापस भी जा चुके हैं. So they have exposure to the teachings. So probably that has already had some influence on them. And they realize कि ये अच्छा तरीका रहेगा. बार बार हमको झुकना पड़ेगा तो हमारी भी अहंकार थोड़ा कम. Because they have been exposed to the teachings during the visit of Buddha and all that has already happened. ऐसा लगता है.
तो फिर इसको हम एक तरीके से ये भी एक लेसन इसमें से ले सकते हैं कि हमारे लिए भी एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है कि हम ऐसे अपने आप को ऐसी सिचुएशंस में डालें या ऐसे सिचुएशंस एनकरेज करें
Yeah.
जो कि कन्वेंशनली अनकंफर्टेबल हैं, isn't it? But
Yeah.
dharmically they are sort of enabling.
Yeah. Certainly. Those wherever there is an opportunity to be humbled, we should move in that direction. कि भाई अपने अहम को कम करना है, ये इसका कोई भी तरीका मिल जाए तो वही ठीक है. Which is keeping the Shila in order. Everything is fine. Certainly. All these people were royals, princes, and he is a barber. And as it turns out, the barber turns out to be the greatest of all of them eventually, isn't it? He becomes the great disciple much before others. So obviously, they had strong armies also.
So just pushing that point a little bit further, कि conventionally जो चीज़ मुझे uncomfortable लग रही है, it is quite possible कि actually वो चीज़ मेरी धार्मिक प्रगति में मुझे मदद करे, and therefore like many times our teachers say, encourage us to go against the grain, so to say.
Yeah.
So this is an example of going against the grain.
जी बिल्कुल.
And so I should try and look for such opportunities अपने जीवन में कि कहाँ कहाँ मैं ऐसी चीज़ कर सकता हूँ जो कि वैसे सामान्य रूप से शायद अनप्लेजेंटनेस जगाए, लेकिन इन अ धार्मिक सेंस वो मदद करे.
जी. आजकल की स्थिति तो बहुत ही गजब की है. Even the people who are worthy of respect, people don't respect them. So what to talk of going in this direction? It's obviously a glaring example of the motivation of these people. Certainly, it's very true.
Okay, if someone else has any commentary, we can discuss it. Otherwise, Prakash ji can carry on.
Okay, I share the screen. There is no more question.
The young Shankyan then took Upali with them, went to the Buddha, where they both sat down and said, Sir, we Shakyan are proud. The barber Upali has been serving us for a long time. Please let him go forth first. We will then bow down to him, rise up for him, raise our joint palms to him, and do act of respect toward him. In this way, our Shakyan pride will be humbled, and the Buddha had Upali go forth first, and afterward the young Shakyan. During that very rainy season, Venerable Bhadia realized the three insights. Venerable Anuruddha obtained chair voyance. Venerable Ananda realized steam entry, whereas Devadatta obtained supernormal powers but no stage of awakening. Then, when Bhadia was in the wilderness at the foot of a tree, or in an empty dwelling, he frequently uttered these heartfelt exclamation, "Oh, what happens? Oh, what happens?" A number of
With
monk
happiness. We had happiness. Oh,
happiness.
what
Yeah.
happiness.
Oh, what happens? Oh, what happiness! Oh, what happiness! A number of monks went to the Buddha, bowed, sat down, and told him what was happening, adding, "No doubt Badya is dissatisfied with the spiritual life. He is saying this because he is recalling his former happiness as a king." Yeah, here only. Little up, I think. Yeah. The Buddha addressed a certain monk, "Go, monk, and in my name say to Badya, Badya, the teacher is calling you." Saying, "Yes, sir." He did just that. Badya consented. He then went to the Buddha, bowed, and sat down. The Buddha said to him, "Is it true, Badya, that when you are in the wilderness, at the foot of a tree, or in an empty dwelling, you frequently utter this heartfelt exclamation, 'Oh, what happiness! Oh, what happiness!'" "Yes, Venerable Sir." "But why do you say this?" "In the past, sir, when I was a king, I was well protected within and outside the royal compound, within and outside of town, and within and outside the country. But although I was protected and guarded in this way, I was fearful, agitated, and distrustful. But now, sir, when I am in the wilderness, at the foot of a tree, or in an empty dwelling, I am free from fear, agitation, and distrust. I am free from bother, relaxed, living on what's given by others, with a mind as free as a wild animal. That is why I say this." Seeing the significance of this, on that occasion the Buddha uttered a heartfelt exclamation, "They who have no anger within, gone beyond any kind of existence, happy, free from fear and sorrow. Even the gods are unable to see them." The account of Devadatta. When the Buddha had stayed at Anupiya for as long as he liked, he set out wandering toward Kosambi. When he eventually arrived, he stayed in Gosita's monastery. Then, while reflecting in private, Devadatta thought, "Who might I inspire to have confidence in me so that I would get much material support and honor?" And it occurred to him, "Prince Ajata, Ajatasattu is young and has a bright future. Why don't I inspire him to have confidence in me? Then I will get much material support and honor." He put his dwelling in order, took his bowl and robes, and left the Rajaga, where he eventually arrived. He then transformed himself into a boy wearing a snake as a belt and appeared on Prince Ajatasattu's lap. When Ajatasattu became fearful and agitated, Devadatta said to him, "Are you afraid of me, Prince?" "I am. Who are you?" "I am Devadatta. If you are Venerable Devadatta, please appear in your own form." Devadatta abandoned the form of a boy and stood in front of a Jatasattu, wearing his robes and carrying his bowl.
Okay, maybe
By
Prakash,
means of
pause.
this wand,
Yeah, just pause. Nikhil, maybe just go back to the start of this section and वो जो भद्दिया की exclamations हैं, we can maybe take a look at them. So I think it's quite obvious. नहीं, मैंने इतना पीछे नहीं जाना है. उस section का यहाँ खत्म हो रहा है ना? Yeah, that's it. That's it. So we can.
Not audible. Sorry, Pandit ji. Not audible.
हाँ, नहीं ठीक नहीं आ रही है दीप्ति आवाज?
हाँ, अब आ रही है.
Yeah, okay. I'll get it. So Nikhil, just put the display up. There are a few things there that I think are quite useful. So I think one thing is pretty obvious that despite sort of material comforts, yeah, I think what Bhatia is underlining is that the happiness born out of a pure heart is of a higher degree than the happiness from मटीरियल बेनिफिट्स. और ये हमने अभी कुछ दिन पहले जो 3 प्रकार की हैप्पीनेसेस के बारे में पढ़ा था, सुना था. आई थिंक दिस बेसिकली corroborates that. So Darshan, technically, what's the last line that even the gods can't see him? So this seems to be abiding in Brahma realm. Is that what it is? And that's why the other devas can't see him? What's that line?
सर आप म्यूट पर हैं.
इसका पाली देख सकते हैं, इस एक्सक्लेमेशन का पाली शब्द.
मैं उसको अभी प्रिंट यहाँ I'll just print it here. This is the Pali.
देवता भी उसकी स्प्राह, जहां तक मुझे याद है उसमें था, इवन देवास envy him. उन्होंने इसका कर दिया सी.
Yeah, where you can is that what the Pali is saying? The Pali is on your screen. It's in the chat on the right.
I can't see. मुझे नहीं दिख रहा है पाली. आपको दिख रहा है क्या?
सर शेयर इसमें चैट बॉक्स में बंटी जी ने डाला है.
चैट बॉक्स में देखो. यहाँ पे तो इसका नानु भवंती न संपन्न. और इंग्लिश वाला क्या था ट्रांसलेशन? यहाँ पे फिर देखो ही लिखा हुआ दर्शनम तस्य दुर्लभ, मतलब उसका दर्शन देवताओं के लिए भी दुर्लभ है इस सेंस में. मतलब even devas would like to come and pay respects to him. That's the.
Nikhil, if you switch on sharing, मैं display कर देता हूँ. I have got the.
Even the gods are unable to see them. That is not the meaning of this really. तस्य दर्शनम देवानपि दुर्लभंति अधिपयो. उसके दर्शन पाना देवताओं के लिए भी दुर्लभ है. दुर्लभ है मतलब they want to see, and if we find it, and he's one who is worthy of being seen by devas also. That's probably the meaning.
ये देखिए. Can you see it now?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
Yeah, so you can see I've shaded the asterisks, but left पे English and
I don't really understand. Nalu Bhavanti has it. I can't really be sure about it. I'll have to check.
No, that's okay. It's okay. I mean, I think the dharmic implication is quite clear. I was
मतलब ये कि देवता भी उसका दर्शन करना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए वो भी दुर्लभ है. It doesn't mean that physically they can't see him. वो पोएटिक लैंग्वेज में थोड़ी चेंजेस हो जाती है ना, तो इसलिए डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. देखता हूँ अगर मैं.
I see. That's why you're saying that the rendition should be that the devtas are envious of him.
Yeah, that's the spirit of it. कि उनके देवताओं के लिए भी ऐसे संत का दर्शन करना, कहा नहीं जाता संतों का दर्शन करना दुर्लभ होता है भाई. सो देवताओं के लिए भी वो दुर्लभ होता है, बिकॉज दे मे नॉट बी अवेयर ऑफ द become aware of his greatness. It's not easy for even devatas to know that a person is arhant.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
सामान्य भाषा में भी भारतवर्ष में अभी भी कहा जाता है ना, संतों के दर्शन करना बड़ा दुर्लभ है. दुर्लभ इन द सेंस दैट आपकी उस तरह की भावना ही नहीं बनेगी कि वो संत है और उनके दर्शन कराएं, उनको देखा जाए, उनसे कुछ सीखा है. दिस इज ए कॉमन काइंड ऑफ way of speaking in India even today. बनते जी को याद होगा, हमने भी ऐसी बात की थी आपस में एक बार. यार 73 में तो हम भी, उससे पहले तो हम भी बहुत बड़े थे, पता नहीं हम बाबा नींद करोली से क्यों नहीं मिले इतना.
Yeah, right.
Isn't it? In that sense.
Yeah.
इसका देवनागरी लिपि में मुझे दिख रहा है बंटी जी, अगर आप बोले तो मैं इसको शेयर कर दूंगा.
नहीं,
वो देवनागरी में तो है, राइट में.
ठीक भी आ गया वो.
हाँ ठीक है.
I have to check up on this word anubhavanti. That's
well, no, but I understand. I think the spirit is quite obvious.
Yeah, spirit तो यही है.
And the dharmic, जो इसका धार्मिक लेसन है वो भी काफी significant है in terms of chasing material pleasures.
अनुभवती का मीनिंग तो यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है, अनुभव करना, एक्सपीरियंस करना. इट इज, अब उसका वो किस तरह से, किस सेंस में उसको लिया जाए, इट इज अप टू अस रियली.
Okay. Yeah.
हिंदी वाली डिक्शनरी में ये लिखा है.
Can we read further, Bhante ji?
हाँ जी, चलिए.
So, Prakash ji, can you start reading?
It will start. When Ajatasattu became fearful and agitated, Devadatta said to him, "Are you afraid of me, prince?" "I am. Who are you?" "I am Devadatta." "If you are venerable Devadatta, please appear in your own form." Devadatta abandoned the form of a boy and stood in front of Ajatasattu, wearing his robes and carrying his bowl. By means of this wonder, Devadatta was able to inspire Ajatasattu to have confidence in him. Ajatasattu then attended on a morning and evening with 500 carriages and meal offering of 500 dishes of food. Overcome by material support, honor, and praise, Devadatta started desiring to lead the Sangha of monks, but with appearance of the thought, he supernormal powers disappeared. At the time, Kakuda, the Kolian, the attendant to Venerable Mahamoglana, had recently died and been reborn in mind-made body. He had acquired a body 2 or 3 times the size of the fields of a Magadhan village. Yet he harmed neither himself nor others with that body. Soon afterward, the god Kakuda approached Moggallana, bowed down, and told him about Devadatta's desire and the disappearance of his supernormal powers. He then bowed down.
Can I just see the footnote 258 का footnote दिखाएंगे इस
Yeah, it is there, sir. 57.
ठीक
258 is AN 5s.
yeah thank you. Please go ahead.
Circumambulated Mahamoglana with his right side toward him and disappeared right there. Mahamoglana then went to the Buddha, bowed, sat down, and told him all that had happened. The Buddha said, "But Moggallana, have you read Ukuda's mind so that you know that all he says is just so and not otherwise?" "I have, Venerable Sir." "Remember these words, Moggallana. Soon that fool will show himself as he truly is."
This prior account I found very, mildly, what's the word? I was going to say entertaining, but not so much entertaining as, stimulating and enriching. It presumes a lot of understanding of the issue of the realms and how beings in that, higher realms, Deva realms is still coming and paying respects to Mogalan. Of course, we see it in other parts, in other places in the canon as well. लेकिन जैसे कि हमारी एक सामान्य समझ है ना कि जो हायर realms हैं, जो देव realms हैं, they are more refined and so forth, which they are, but you can see that even there, some beings in the human realm are deserving of respect. And apart from that, the way the whole section is, it's very instructive in terms of the issue of realms. So I thought we'll just point that out. Okay, thanks. You can carry on.
Sir, can you kindly explain the meaning of mind-made body? I mean, you have talked about this earlier, and we have a general sense, but can you throw some more light on it, if it is possible?
I really can't say more than that.
That's a isn't it? Like one of the realms, that's the nature of the body, that it's not a gross physical body, but something that's
the bodies in the Brahma realm. There is Arup Brahma Loka, but whether it refers to that, it refers to something special. Manomay Kayam. Anyatarang Manomay Kayam Uppanno. I'm not sure about that. Which particular realm? Because in the Deva realm, there is a fine material sense. And there is the Brahma realms where there is the formless realm. Now, what is this mind-made realm? I don't know. Where such a big body can be there, we have not heard about it. मैंने पहली बार देखा. what does it mean to have mind and body of such a large size? I can't really figure out. It's basically the classification of realms is clearly in the order of fine material realm and immaterial realm. Fine material realm, this size is of so large, maybe, I don't know. I have no comment on that really. I will have to look up and find out. I can't say. नहीं कुछ नहीं, no information can't get it. चलिए
That's
we'll
okay,
find
sir.
out. Continue.
Mahamoggallana then went to the Buddha, bowed and sat down and told him all that had happened. The Buddha said, "But Moggallana, have you read Fukuda's mind so that you know that all he says is just so and not otherwise?" "I have, Venerable Sir." "Remember these words, Moggallana. Soon that fool will show himself as he truly is." Discussion of the 5 kinds of teachers. Moggallana, there are 5 kinds of teachers in the world. One kind of teachers is impure in behavior while claiming it is pure. His disciples know about this but think it would be unpleasant for him if he informed the householders. And it is because of him that we are honored with gifts of robe cloth, armed foods, dwellings, and medicinal supplies. How then can we inform him? He will be known through his own actions. The disciples conceal the impure behavior of such a teacher, and the teacher expects them to do so. Another kind of teacher is impure in livelihood. While claiming it is pure, his disciples know about this but think it would be dwelling and medicinal supplies. How then can we inform them? He will be known through his own actions. The disciples conceal the impure livelihood for such a teacher, and the teacher expects them to do so. Still, another kind of teacher gives impure teachings while claiming they are pure. His disciples know about this but think it would be unpleasant for him if we inform the householders, and it is because of him that we are honored with gifts of robe, cloth, alms food, dwelling, medicinal supplies. How then can we inform them? He will be known through his own actions. The disciple conceal the impure teaching of such a teacher, and the teacher expect them to do so. Still, another kind of teacher gives impure explanations while claiming they are pure. His disciples know about this but think it would be unpleasant for him if he informed the householders, and it is because of him that we are honored with gifts of robe, cloth, alms food, dwelling, and medicinal supplies. How then can we inform them? He will be known through his own actions. The disciples conceal the impure explanation of such a teacher, and the teacher expects them to do so. Still, another kind of teacher has impure knowledge and vision, while claiming they are pure. His disciples know about this but think it would be unpleasant for him if he informed the householders, and it because of him that we are honored with gifts of robe, cloth, alms food, dwelling, and medicinal supplies. How then can we inform them? He will be known through his own actions. The disciples conceal the impure knowledge, vision of such teacher, and the teacher expects them to do so. But in my case, Maulana, I claim my behavior is pure because it is. My disciples don't conceal my behavior, and I don't expect them to do so. I claim my livelihood is pure. I claim my teachings are pure. I claim my explanations are pure. I claim my knowledge and visions are pure because they are. My disciples don't conceal my knowledge and vision. I don't expect them to do so. When
Okay,
Buddha
you
adds,
can pause,
yeah,
briefly, just pause. If there's anything anyone wants to say, then we can give it a few seconds and then move on.
The problem for an ordinary householder would be how would he be able to discern what kind of teacher is in front of them? Very challenging job, perhaps.
Here, disciples refers also to the monks. Is it? It's not just this fragment. But even for them, not all of them can find and pretty difficult. Unless things are obvious, it's not possible.
सुरेंद्र मुलर्जी ने लिखा है कि थोड़ा हिंदी में भी इसको एक्सप्लेन करते हैं 5 तरह के टीचर कैसे हैं।
बेसिकली तो यही कहा जा रहा है कि टीचर्स जो है उनकी या तो आजीविका ठीक नहीं है या शील ठीक नहीं है या उनकी प्रज्ञा उतनी अच्छी नहीं है और वो क्लेम कर रहे हैं कि हम प्योर हैं। तो और उनके टीच स्टूडेंट्स भी हैं, डिसाइपल्स भी हैं जो मॉन्क्स हैं, बिकॉज दिस प्राइमरली रेफर्स टू मॉन्क्स, जो कि उनके उस बिहेवियर को जानते हुए भी कंसील करते हैं क्योंकि उन्हें मालूम है भाई हमारे टीचर के कारण ही हमें भोजन वगैरह मिल रहा है। तो इसलिए वो अपने आप को उस बात को छुपा के रखते हैं कि भाई अपने आप लोगों को पता चल जाएगा अब हमें क्या करना है, क्यों हम उनको ऐसी बात कहें जो उससे उनको अनप्लेजेंट लगे। दिस द बेसिक आइडिया। और भगवान कह रहे हैं कि मेरा तो बिहेवियर भी शुद्ध है, मैं अपने डिसाइपल से ये नहीं एक्सपेक्ट करता कि वो मेरी गलतियों को छुपाएं अगर कोई गलती हो तो। लेकिन मेरी कोई गलती नहीं है, मेरी आजीविका भी शुद्ध है, मेरे समझाने के तरीके भी शुद्ध हैं और जो मेरा प्रज्ञा है वो बिल्कुल शुद्ध है। तो इसलिए मेरे श्रावक जो हैं उनको इसके बारे में कोई छुपाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। यहाँ पे तो obviously most all these statements have been made by them with respect to the monk disciples, because they are concerned with the support, material support they get. ऐसा मुझे लगता है मे बी। हाउस होल्डर्स के लिए तो बहुत ही मुश्किल काम है, ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल।
और मॉन्क्स के लिए तो पॉसिबल होना चाहिए, परहैप्स मॉन्क्स के लिए तो पॉसिबल होना चाहिए।
जी क्योंकि आपने देखा होगा हर जगह उसके साथ कंडीशन ये लगी हुई है कि भाई हमें वो हमारे जो रिक्विजिट्स हैं वो इनके कारण मिल रहे हैं, तो फिर वो दिक्कत हो जाएगी।
सर इसमें आई क्लेम माई टीचिंग्स आर प्योर, राइट, और यहाँ पर आता है आई क्लेम माई नॉलेज एंड विजन्स आर प्योर। तो क्या इनका उसका पाली वर्जन देखें, क्योंकि टीचिंग तो वही होगी जो नॉलेज एंड विजन है, कुछ सूक्ष्म डिफरेंस आने वाला है क्या? एक्सप्लेनेशंस में भी लाइक मैं एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ जातक से और मैं गलत एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन आई क्लेम माई टीचिंग्स आर प्योर और फिर आई क्लेम माई, ये दोनों अलग है क्या, टीचिंग्स एंड नॉलेज एंड विजन?
नॉलेज इन विजन इज द ज्ञान दर्शनम, that I have attained the perfection, you can put it in that manner. And so if that, because that is pure, therefore my teachings are also in accordance with that. One can say it is a repetitive thing, yeah, say that. That doesn't.
पाली में इसको टीचिंग को क्या लिखा होगा? बिकॉज मैं अलग अलग देख रहा हूँ सर। आपने पहला बोला ठीक है, वो बिहेवियर इज शील, लाइवलीहुड उसके, उनको पैसा कमाना है, गलत तरीके से कमा रहे हैं, बट देन आई क्लेम माई टीचिंग्स आर प्योर, देन आई क्लेम माई एक्सप्लेनेशंस आर प्योर।
नहीं, उसमें धम्म देशना लिखा हुआ है टीचिंग्स के लिए।
ओके ओके। तो वो किसी और व्यक्ति, क्योंकि टीचिंग है यहाँ पर, वो खुद का उनका अनुभव नहीं है, तो हो सकता है किसी और अनुभवहीन व्यक्ति की धम्म देशना को बताने लग गए, ये भी हो सकता
नहीं, ठीक है ना, हम टीचिंग्स करना एक चीज है और प्यूरिटी ऑफ माइंड एक चीज है।
है। ओके ओके। ऑल राइट, मे बी इट इज इंटेलेक्चुअल, माई टीचिंग उनका इंटेलेक्चुअल लेवल पे वो जो समझ पा रहे हैं वो बता रहे हैं, और नॉलेज विजन इज समथिंग पटी इन दैट मैनर। एंड सेकेंड थिंग सर जो ख्याल में आया आज के पढ़ते हुए, वो दो तरह की चीजें आ रही हैं। एक तो हमने ऊपर पढ़ा वो जो एक भद्दिया था, वो खुश है कि जो भी मुझे मिल जा रहा है और मैं उससे मुक्त हो गया, फ्री हो गया बाकी चीजों से। इधर इसमें डिसाइपल्स का क्लिंगिंग दिख रहा है कि अरे खाना नहीं मिलेगा अगर इसकी हम टीचर की बुराई कर देंगे। सो दैट्स अ वेरी फाइनर पॉइंट, यू नो। और उससे मुझे ख्याल आता है कि शायद इसीलिए फिर गुरु नानक देव ने भी बोला है कि मेहनत करो, अपना कमाओ और नाम करो। शायद इसलिए उन्होंने यहाँ पर बोल दिया, क्योंकि कई बार इस तरह का टेंडेंसी आ सकती है कि अरे हमें खाना नहीं मिलेगा तो लेट्स सपोर्ट द रॉन्ग थिंग्स ऑल्सो, so better we become self dependent in that manner. Just a thought, crossed my mind.
No, you're mixed. You're taking not an appropriate example. The question is that the teachers are not fully enlightened. That's it. And Bhadia is not saying, "Oh, happiness just out of just as a matter of routine," because he's fully enlightened. He has given up all. वो अनंत बन गए. He's saying because of that, not just speaking about it. So the main point is that the teachers of various kinds who are not enlightened, they will make various pretensions. Pretensions करते हैं ना लोग, हम लोग भी तो pretensions करते हैं भाई, जो हम नहीं हैं हम वो दिखाना चाहते हैं. That's what is being mentioned. And he's saying that a fully enlightened teacher will not do that. That's the point. तो जब टीचर ही fully enlightened नहीं है तो डिसाइपल से क्या एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे आप? So it does not mean that this is therefore not doable and one should become a householder and live a householder's life. So we should not derive that conclusion from here. By looking at counterfeit, we don't deny the existence of originality. उससे गलत कंक्लूजन हो जाएगा ना भाई, क्योंकि ये संभव नहीं है तो इसलिए मॉन्क नहीं बनना चाहिए. दैट्स नॉट ए करेक्ट conclusion from this. We should, that's what happens when we work with pure logic. I mean, logically, what you have said makes sense, but that's not what is being said here.
Yeah, right. I mean, I just wonder कि disciples भी, they are not true seekers, right? So they are concealing, and the teacher भी यही expect कर रहा था और disciple भी वैसे ही behave कर रहे हैं. So that makes like कि
Yeah,
they are not
obviously.
true seekers.
जब टीचर ही नहीं है तो डिसाइपल क्या होंगे?
I think what I understand from Nikhil's uttering is that there is always a potential in this kind of a setup for non-seekers or non-sincere persons to try to become part of a sangha like this.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
very true. It always happens. It has happened in every tradition. This has happened.
because life looks so easy to some of them, those who don't want to work hard, they said, okay, let's become renunciate.
Yeah.
Can happen.
Ji, that's very true.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. तो पंडित जी अभी समय हो चला, आगे पढ़ना है या
We can stop here. Okay, काफी लंबा चैप्टर है, so it will go on.
कोई और भी क्वेश्चंस हैं तो आप पूछ सकते हैं.
So आप लोग शायद जानते हैं कि this is Ajahn Sumedho's 90th year, और उनकी बर्थडे अब आ रही है वास में, जुलाई में. तो अमरावती में जहाँ वो रह रहे हैं, इस तरह से सोचा गया कि भाई हम वी शुड ऑब्जर्व दिस इवेंट. और क्योंकि वास के दौरान अन्य भिक्षुओं को ट्रैवल करना मुश्किल होता है, तो उन्होंने अभी वैसाख के इर्द गिर्द एक काफ़ी बड़ा ऑब्जर्वेंस प्लान किया है, जो कि अभी चल रहा है एज वी स्पीक. तो जो अमरावती की यूट्यूब चैनल है, उस पे आप लोग हम लोग कई सारे वहाँ टॉक्स लगातार चल रहे हैं, इंक्लूडिंग कई सारे सीनियर मंक्स थाईलैंड से आए हुए हैं. और क्योंकि ये अमरावती में हो रहा है, तो उन सबकी इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन साथ चल रही हैं. तो एनीवन हुज इंटरेस्टेड इज वेलकम टू लुक एट दैट. तो आज रात तक, कल कल तक चलेगा, एंड इट्स बीन गोइंग ऑन सिंस फ्राइडे इवनिंग. So it's just an opportunity that I thought I can inform everyone about.
मैंने कल सुना तो मुझे इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन नहीं सुनाई दिया, है क्या? किसी और से?
Yeah, you have to wait because he'll do it for a few minutes, then Ajahn Kevali is doing the English.
अच्छा, मैंने कल एक तो अजान अनेक से शुरू हुआ था ना, मैंने सुना वो, फिर भी.
हाँ, अजान अनेक का भी तो इंग्लिश है धर साहब, बिल्कुल. Just as he finishes, then Ajahn Kevali takes over.
अच्छा, वो मतलब पूरा बोलने के बाद है, बीच बीच में
Well,
नहीं?
Ajahn Anek did a very short one. That he only spoke once, and Ajahn Kevali translated all of it. जो लंबा बोल रहे हैं उनका फिर 4 मिनट, 3 मिनट, 5 मिनट, 10 मिनट, depending on when the speaker pauses.
अच्छा, okay, I'll say it again.
In fact, Ajahn Anek वाला तो बहुत ही, it was quite unusual actually, the way whatever he said.
No, he started it.
Yeah, he started. Yeah, right.
समापन चैन के लिए पंडित जी से निवेदन.
भगवती सर्वमंगलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वबुद्धानुभावेन सदा सोति भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वधर्मानुभावेन सदा सोति भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वसङ्घानुभावेन सदा सोति भवन्तु ते आरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो भगवा बुद्धं भगवन्तं अभिवादेमि स्वाखातो भगवता धम्मो धम्मं नमस्सामि पन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो संघं नमामि
आइए भंते जी को प्रणाम करेंगे। प्रथम प्रणाम, द्वितीय प्रणाम, तृतीय प्रणाम।
Thank you. Very much.
इनफैक्ट साहब इनमें से कई लोग अपने तब के किस्से सुना रहे हैं when they were in the 60s with Ajahn Sumedho in some of his monasteries.
Yeah.
Some of those kissas are quite fascinating.
I was particularly happy to see Ajahn Anek. तो मैंने कहा कोई
Yeah,
chance है
yeah.
उनका यहाँ भी आने का, because he is
Well, he's so weak. You saw they had to take him away in maybe
ऐसे
10 minutes.
पकड़ के ले जा रहे थे. It's so moving to see their how they have the kind of goodwill towards each other. It's really
और आप देखिए जो उनके उपट्ठक हैं धर साहब वो वही हैं जो 7-8 साल पहले हमारे पास यहाँ आए थे. I mean he's bigger now but he's exactly the same person. Yeah, it's fascinating how he has basically dedicated his life to looking after his what he calls his teacher.
really very very nice. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.